Iridium. There we are. The Iridiots. I've got 3 of the Iridiots here tonight. How you doing?
Woo! All right.
So I've got Jam. He's on the top left, in case he's any different on your screens. For me, he's my top left. Then I've got Dominic way down on the bottom left. And I've got Mark just below me. How you doing, guys? All right?
Good, man.
Good, man.
Good.
Good to see you all.
Well.
Yeah, definitely. So before I start about the show tonight, I just want to do a shameless plug about the live stream. This coming Saturday, which is the 20th, 8 p.m. UK time. We'll talk about 1984, the best albums of 1984. So that's going to be an interesting one. This is. So we've got a new guest as well. Jonathan can't make it. Delana Thomas is going to come on. Very experienced by all her comments every time we do a live stream. So she's really looking forward to it. Although she's got COVID.
Oh, right.
So she's feeling
a good thing you can't catch it over the internet. So
yes, exactly. So hopefully she'll be all right. She's feeling a bit rough, but she's really looking forward to it and get a bit nervous, but she'll be fine. Apart from that shameless plug, I just want to say something about this album that got sent to me from Nick Hogg from the band Nitrate. I reviewed this album and he was so happy with my review. He sent me this. He's actually sent me an extra cover because, sorry about the glare, he wanted to sign that for me. So that's the actual cover on its own, which is pretty cool. And this is the album. Oh man, what is it with albums? I probably never will play it because I got it on Spotify. I just want it. I want to hold it in my hand. It's got, look, it looks lovely, doesn't it? And look, inside, we've got lyrics.
Lovely.
Doesn't that look nice? And look at this, look. To top it all.
Oh, blue line.
Baloo.
Look at that. Lovely, isn't it? So thanks, Nick Hogg from Nitrate. And that's a great album. If you like melodic rock, AOR stuff, for me, you know, even though he sent me this, it's got nothing to do with it. I said it at the time. I think it's probably the best AOR album out this year so far. And that includes the likes of Kent Healy from Perfect Plan, who brought an album out. He's a brilliant artist. And also Toby Hitchcock, he's a well-known AOR artist, and for me that's album of the year so far in that category. So, and it'll make it into my top albums overall, I would have thought. So thank you very much, Nick Hogg, for that. That's the that's all that out of the way. We're gonna so we've been talking about this doing this show for quite a while, probably a couple of months at least, where we said, like, let's do a great covers, not covers as in artwork, obviously. This is song covers, so bands that have done some great covers. And this is really interesting because for me, I was trying to think, I don't know if you're going to say this on yours, but I might say whether I prefer the original or this one. Now, it's difficult because you've got a real tie, especially if you like the original. First of all, you've got a tie to that because they are the songwriters. So that's in the back of your head for me, that they wrote this song. So they own it. Why shouldn't it be the best one? But then I was thinking to myself, what about if you didn't know this song at all and both of them were played to you one after the other? That's how I'm trying to think. What one would you like? Because sometimes, don't you get a little bit, you know, because it's such a good song, even though it's 30 years old or whatever. No, that's the one. But is it really? I don't know. If they were played side by side, like I said, and you'd never heard the song before, it might be a different matter. Something to think about, isn't it? That's just my weird head, just thinking shit like that. So there you go.
I think it's safe to say that every one of mine, I prefer the one I'm going to mention. I prefer the rocked up versions of all these, probably.
Yeah.
I think I'm similar, which is why I picked it in the first place. Although I think I just look at it now, there's one that I wouldn't go over the original because the originals doesn't need to be, but we'll get there.
Yeah. I mean, they can be very good covers, but not quite in the original, or they could smash it out of the fucking park, couldn't they? There you go. So I'm going to go, because I'm going to go bottom. Actually, I'm going to go Mark first because I'm going to go underneath. I'm going to go around that way though. So it'll be Mark, Dom, and then Jam. So we're going to go around the houses. We're going to do, maybe it might be an hour. We might do about 5, something like that. We just make this shit up as we go along. But what I want to do, because I've got about 13 or 14, just in case there's any repeats. But also what I want to do to be no honourable mentions, I want to use them maybe for a future show, do a part 2 or a part 3, because there's loads of covers, as you know. But so these are, there's no having a go at bands here. These are all good. We might have a go actually at the original. You never know. but these are good cover versions of the songs.
Oh yeah, very good.
Yeah. So right, okay, Mark, what you got, mate? Is your first?
All right, I'm going to start off with Iced Earth from the Plagues of Babylon album, 2014. The song's called Highwayman. The song was originally a country song, written and recorded by a guy named Jimmy Webb in 1977, and then Glenn Campbell covered it in '79. The most famous version, kind of a country supergroup, they called themselves the Highwaymen.
Yeah.
Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson, Waylon Jennings, and Johnny Cash did the definitive version of the song. I don't remember what it was, early 80s. I'm not a country fan at all, but I do remember hearing that song as a kid and being kind of captivated by it. It's not a typical country song. It's about a soul that continues to be reincarnated throughout time. And the soul just goes into different bodies and has different adventures throughout its history. Anyway, just a cool song. I remember hearing the country version when I was a kid and liking it. And then when Iced Earth came out with this metal version of it, it just blew me away. They brought in some help for this song rather than Stu Block, who was the singer at the time, doing all the vocals. The first verse was sang by John Schaefer, and they had Russell Allen from Symphony X come in. He did the second verse. Stu Block did the third verse, and then they had Michael Polson from Volbeat do the final verse. And
Oh wow! So they did like a highwayman thing on their own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they
Cool.
knocked it out of the park. If you hadn't heard of this, it's just an amazing cover of that song.
So I've got to say, Mark, I've got to own up to this. I didn't know it was a cover, but listening to it, I knew there was something different about it because of the sound of it, because it's not typical Iced Earth.
Right. Yeah,
But still, the heaviness is there. But you're right, it had that southern feel, which Iced Earth ain't got that southern feel at all, have they?
yeah.
So
I thought it was amazing how they could take a country song and metalize it, make it their own, but yet still have the vibe of that original version. Anyway, if you hadn't heard it, for you guys that hadn't heard it, you got to check it out.
It's a great song. Excellent.
Cool.
choice.
You know,
Yeah, good one, mate.
Jimmy Webb is just a great songwriter. He does one of my favorite songs of all time called Wichita Lineman, which was a famous Glenn Campbell song as well.
Yeah.
Wrote a lot of stuff in the late 60s, early 70s for like Fifth Dimension and those kind of bands. So yeah, terrific songwriter. So I'm definitely going to check that out.
Mm.
I think Guns N' Roses playing that Wichita Lineman on their last tour. I think they were doing that.
Oh, that's a shame.
That's ruined it for you. That's ruined it for you.
well, Guns N' Roses band.
Fucking hell. Gosh.
We're waiting. We're not even talking about the new song. Anyway, right, okay. Right. Dom, what you got, mate? That's a brilliant choice, by the way, Mark. And now it's giving me, I didn't even fucking know, so thanks for that. Cheers for that. Okay, what you got then? What you got then, Dom?
All right, well, I'm going to get in here with Tesla, Little Susie, which is from a British band from 1981 called PhD. Sorry?
I said I didn't know that was a cover.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Right on. It has the distinction of being the fifth video ever played on MTV. So the first was Video Killed the Radio Star. I know the second was Pat Benatar, You Better Run. I don't know what 3 and 4 were, but fifth was this Little Susie song. I don't think most people that know the song know it is a cover. I guess if you looked at the line notes, you'd see they didn't write it, but they just make such a great version of it that you just, you would never know. But there is a music video and stuff for the original one on YouTube and stuff if you want to check it out and see what they did with it. But yeah, Tesla, Little Susie from Mechanical Resonance.
That's a fucking brilliant song, man. I love that song. I mean, I actually knew that was a cover, but I didn't know who done it and all that. I just knew at the time it was a cover, but I mean, they really do make it their own, don't they?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely brilliant. Excellent choice, mate. What you got in, Jan?
So well, I'm going to go to some people call the King of Covers band, which is Metallica, to start off with. And this is from Garage Inc. And this is a cover of Bob Seger's Turn the Page from his Back in 72 album released in 1973. And I just love this song. I just love I obviously I knew because it's Garage Inc. it was covers, but I'd never heard the original one. But I just love this. One of my favorite Metallica songs. It's probably one I've heard more recently. I don't think I knew it back in '88 when it was released. I don't think I really listened to it particularly, but since lockdown and all that, it's just one that's come on quite a lot, and I play it quite a lot. I have heard the original version afterwards of Bob Seger's. It's got a similar pace to it. Obviously, it's not heavy at all, but they do a Metallica version of it. I can't think of any bad Metallica cover songs. They're all do it justice without putting their own twist on it. So yeah, it's a very good song. Obviously, it's not really heavy or thrashy particularly, but it's metalized and it's just a great song. I like it. James's vocals on it are really good as well, which I think.
That was it. They've released a couple of Garage Days, didn't they? Was that the first one? Was that which I think I liked? Crash Course and all that.
Yeah, I think this was the expanded Garage Inc. where it had more songs on that. I think the first one had like Red Fan and Camo Evil.
Yeah, it came out in like '98. It was like a double CD, and the original one's only I think 5 songs long.
Yeah, that's it.
So this one actually had modern covers that they made for this 1998 album. I think Turn the Page is one of those. It wasn't on the original EP.
No, because I love that original EP. I remember when that came out, and then the sound of it as well, like production mix wise, and then we had Injustice for All, and I was like, what happened there because of the difference in the sound? It's a bit weird.
Go back in the garage, will you?
Go back in the garage, yeah. So I mean, I've got quite a big list, but what I'm going to do, because these ain't in order or anything like that, I should have said at the beginning, this ain't like your top 5 to 1 or anything like that. They're just ones that we chose that we liked. But I'm going to do them a bit out of order now because of Dom, because he's mentioned Tesla. So I thought I might as well do a Tesla one as well. So get that out of the way. And I've gone for Signs, which is, I mean, outstanding. I mean, I didn't sort of mention any rules coming into this. You could have a live version of something. You could have, I don't know, I've got another one that's a bit weird on the way it was recorded, which I'm definitely going to mention in this program. But I love Signs, and it's such a Tesla song without actually being one. It's just amazing. So the band that originally recorded it in 1970 was the 5-man electrical band, they were called.
Ah, right.
And obviously Signs was on 5-man acoustical jam, which came out in 1990, which for an acoustic album as well, I loved it. And I'm not a big acoustic fan, as you guys probably know, but that CD, or I think CD or album at the time, there's such an energy to it. The whole of that album, I love 5-man acoustical jam. And I don't know if it was, they were sort of seemed to be one of the first ones that did that acoustic stuff. I'm not sure. I might be wrong there, but they were quite early on the scene with the acoustic stuff, it seems to me. But ain't it a cool song, Signs? They played it. I went to see Tesla, lucky enough, probably about 6 or 7 years ago in London, in a little 500-seater club, not seat, standing club. And, I was blown away by them there. I'm so glad I got to see them. They did Signs as well. And it's just, I just don't even think of it anything but a Tesla song, do you? It's just brilliant. I think that they changed the lyrics a little bit, fucking up the scenery instead of blocking a couple of times. But a very, very cool song. I don't think they've recorded it studio. I don't know.
No.
But I don't think they should really, because I think that's a perfect rendition, that live one on 5-man acoustical jam. So I thought I'd get a Tesla one out of the way. It's 2 Teslas in one round. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
We love the Tesla boys.
Yeah, I mean, I had Little Susie. I had Stroke Little Susie, and I thought, which one am I going to choose? Because I love both. And I went for Signs and done me little.
Well, I already made your mind up, so
yeah, that's cool.
I want to get in there early because I knew you're probably married.
Okay, all right. Where you go, Mark? What you got for your second track, mate?
All right, my next one, I had a hard time deciding which song to pick by this guy because he had done so many. He's kind of made a career, a side career doing covers.
I know who you're gonna talk about.
This name may come up again in the future, but Jorn Landy,
Yeah.
from the past, and I'm going with the Kiss cover, Naked City.
Oh God, so good.
Absolutely love that song. Unmasked is not one of their stronger albums, obviously, but that song in its original form is one of my all-time favorite Kiss songs. And he just turns it up in this one and takes it to the next level. I didn't think the song could really be improved that much because it's got for that album, Unmasked, it's got some edge to it, but I mean, he really took it to the next level on this and kind of showed you, if that album had possibly a different producer and they had approached it in a different way, it could have been a heavier album than what it turned out to be. And he just, like I said, he just knocked it out of the park with this. I had a hard time because he's done so many amazing covers, but this one just stands out to me.
Oh man, I mean, I might have to change my fucking list again because the order of what I was going to say, because I mean, man, like he said, he's got so much to choose from. He's done the Unlocking the Past stuff. He's done the heavy rock radio.
Right.
Band, and he just smashed. He's
done the entire Dio album was all covered.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing I love when he covers Dio, but I don't want to talk about it in case anyone mentions the Dio song, but he's so close for me to Dio, and the actual band are themselves and the heaviness.
Yeah.
It's sort of not, it's too close to Dio to differentiate. They're all good, the covers, but he doesn't make them that much better because they were so fucking good to start with. I suppose that's what the thing is as well.
Yeah.
But,
and since he sounds so similar to him, it's like kind of like, what's the point?
yeah, exactly. But
I like when he does songs like this, where he kind of turns it up, and even other ones that may be on this show or later on the show, just songs that aren't even rock songs really, and he just makes magic out of them. I love it.
And I love that he picks obscure songs. He doesn't just go for the
I agree.
The low hanging fruit. He could have covered Detroit Rock City, and I'm sure it would have been great. But before I even heard it, when this album came out, I saw the track listing. I said, "Holy shit! I got to buy it just for that." It's always been one of my favorite Kiss songs, and it never had any radio play. It's not a known song other than the Kiss diehards. Nobody's ever heard it, but I give him props for picking these obscure songs.
What do you could you pronounce his name again there, Mark? What did you say his name was?
Jorn?
Yeah, see, he knows. See, Mark knows his name.
Yeah.
I got corrected, mate. I got
told off.
I got told off on comments under one of my videos, and then Dom says he's going to call him Jorn anyway. He don't give a fuck, didn't you, Dom?
I'm going to call him Jorny Landy. That's fine.
Yeah, I think the Norwegians pronounced that J with a Y sound.
It's a soft J.
Yeah. That's a great choice again, though, Mark. I love that. Okay.
Yeah. Don't you calling me Yam?
Yeah.
Yam.
I like that. That's
no.
Right, Don, what you got, mate? What's your second?
All right. Well, I'm going to pick another one that is very familiar, probably with everyone, at least on the panel here. Wasp and the Real Me from the Who's Quadrophenia. I actually love the Who, so and I've heard some bad covers of Who songs, but this is not one. This is fantastic. I mean, it's a straight up cover. They don't really do much different to it except turn it up. But it's just got lots of energy. The bass playing is great on it, obviously. Just when I was thinking of rock and metal covers, this one just shoots straight in the top 5. So fantastic output by Blackie and the boys. But I'm sure it's not really an obscure cover, is it? Because it was a single.
Man.
What
I
a
mean,
great version.
totally right there. I mean, I remember when that video came out and I first heard that song and the way they did it, and like you said, the energy in it, I was just blown away. Especially after, was it after Inside the Electric Circus? And I was a bit, and then they brought that out. I was like, fucking hell, their sound was huge on that, absolutely huge, brilliant, excellent.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, had to get that one in.
Okay,
Yeah,
good one,
I
mate.
heard it after the original version, after the Wasp version. I knew it was a cover version already, but I heard the real me quite a lot of times. And the original version is really good, as you say. I like the Who as well, and it's not a lot different in a way. You know, it's definitely got the same pace, doesn't it? And it's a good song.
Yes.
Yeah,
cool. Okay, good one, mate. What you got, Jack?
Right, I'm going to double British and pretty obscure. I'm going for a song called "Small Town Boy" by Bronski Beat, which was Jimmy Somerville, who was went on to the Communards. This is obviously a pop song, but it was covered by Paradise Lost.
Wow.
Symbol of Life album in 2002. It was a bonus track, and obviously, if you don't know Paradise Lost, they're a sort of gothic, doomish band. They've done some really good stuff. I'm not a fan of them, but I'm not a fan. I just haven't listened to them particularly. But I heard this track. I think they supported Danzig when I saw Brixton Academy, and Paradise Lost were playing them. And I wasn't going to bother sitting because I didn't really know any of the stuff. My mate said, "Oh, I like them," so we went and watched them, and they played this. It was like, and then it just took me back to school disco. You know, I was 10 years old at me before when it came out. And there's a pop song that you like, you don't know what it is when you're 10. And I just remember loving that song. And then they obviously rocked up, replaced the sort of the keyboards with the guitars, and it's just a great song. If you haven't heard it, it's definitely worth listening to.
Yeah.
Again.
Wow.
Definitely check that one out too. That sounds great.
That's a bonus track, so you might not get it on Spotify. You have to, but it's on.
It'll be on YouTube, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It is cool. I mean, when some of mine are a little bit obscure, I suppose, but that is like fucking obscure, and it like covering something like that. That is cool.
Yeah, but it works so well. I tell you, if you like the original, you'll like that. It's just great.
Brilliant. Right, I did say my list was going to change around, and it is. So I was actually going to mention this in my 5 tonight, but I'm going for another Jon Londe song. So this is a more recent one that he did. I think it was last year. I wrote all the years down apart from this blooming one. So I think it was last year's Heavy Rock Radio 2, Executing the Classics. I think that was last year. It could have been the year before. But and obviously on this sort of, he takes less heavy songs, I suppose, and more poppy sort of songs. And he did a version of Bryan Adams' Lonely Night. So I mean, I love it. It was a single as well. And I'll tell you what I like about this, because Jon is very serious, isn't he? If you notice, if you watch any of his videos, he pulls this face at the camera where he's really close to the camera. He's always giving it that weird. But in this video, and the way it's got an upbeat song as well, Bryan Adams, this is from 1981's You Want It, You Got It album. And in this, he's caught off camera, smiling and stuff like that. And it was quite nice to see Jon Londe like smiling as well. And it's a real fun song. But obviously, it's a bit heavier than the Bryan Adams one, but it's got the real pop sensibilities of that still. It's really catchy. And I had to get a Jon Londe song on because he's so fucking great. I think I've sung his praises from day one on this channel. You know, I've listened to him for years, and you know, anyone who still doesn't know who he is, which there will be people out there, just need to listen to him because he's brilliant. He's like, you know, Dio's not here, is he? So I would just love to see Sabbath do something with him properly.
Oh wow, that'll never happen, but that's a good idea.
I mean, he was on. You can catch some live footage, just handheld camera shit of him playing with Sabbath, like a tribute to Ronnie. I think it was like a year after he died, or a few months after he died, playing with Sabbath.
Really?
Yeah. There's a couple of bits, but man, I would just love him to join them, do an album, maybe a tour, because he's just, you know, he idolizes Ronnie, doesn't he?
I think that was a download, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. I didn't think it was, but I don't know. They
played as Heaven and Hell, and Jorn did, I think, half the songs, and Glenn Hughes did half the song. I think they already had that show scheduled when Ronnie was still alive, if I remember.
Oh, right.
And then
You might know, Jan, was it? Because have you been to all the downloads? Like
I think I've been to all of them. I do remember that that Mark's talked about. I'm not sure was it download, or maybe it was penciled in and they cancelled or something. But I think I would have seen that. But maybe I did see it. I don't know. I wouldn't want to argue about it.
Festival or something.
Yeah, it might have been in. Perhaps it was what's the one in Germany called? The big one.
Wacken.
Yeah, it could be back. Yeah, it could have been Wacken. I'm fairly sure it wasn't download, but don't quote me on it.
I mean, he sounded brilliant live with the band. Fucking brilliant. Yeah. So and that's just a phone recording it.
Oh, I wonder if it's Sonosphere, because we had Sonosphere for a while, didn't we, running in the UK? They had a big band playing then, so it might have been that. Yeah,
maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, well, that's it. Brian Adams, you want it? You've got it. Album, Lonely Nights. There you go. Okay. Round 3. What you got, Mark?
All right, here's another one I had a hard time deciding which song. Striper from the covering 2011. This is not the one, Lee, that you're probably expecting me to pick. I went with The Trooper. And the reason I went with The Trooper, I love most of the versions they did on this album, but Iron Maiden is, I'm not a musician, but that's pretty intricate, sophisticated music. And when they did this album, they said they wanted to not only give homage to their influences, their heroes, but they also wanted to prove that they had the chops to pull off some of these songs. And The Trooper, I mean, they really, they put everything they had into it. And it's very faithful to the original. That intricate guitar work, Oz Fox and Michael Sweet, they just lock in, and they're just on another level. There's 2 other songs I could have picked on here, and I may pick them later. But that's the one that I know which one Lee was expecting me to pick, but I'll save that one for another time.
And we maybe when we talk about that one on the next show, we'll talk about, because we was on with someone else, weren't we, on another show, and they preferred the Striper one, and me and Mark's jaws dropped because of the band and what the song meant to us. He'd never heard the song. He'd never heard the song.
He'd never heard it, even though it's a 40-year-old song.
And we were like, you prefer the Stripe one? And this goes to show what I sort of said at the beginning, I think, before we went on. If you haven't actually heard the original, you might feel different,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that's a huge, like, they sound, that was what Striper back to their best. That's what got them on the trail to be the albums that they're giving us now. And probably the heaviest they've ever been is the last 4 albums after that covering album. So yeah, it's a great choice, mate. I have got a Striper one on my list, but I can't go with 3 rounds copying people. I'm going to go for some more original ones next round.
Stand on your own 2 feet for once, please. Jeez.
Okay, what you got then, Dom? That's a great choice, though, mate. That is, love that.
I would just like to hear Striper do Number of the Beast, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
The funny thing is, and I think I've said this before, I mean, they probably could do that because it's a cover version and everyone knows they're influenced by them. But I mean, I think I've said to you before, look, Todd the Torre wanted Michael Sweet to be on his album, but because it's got, not anti-Christian stuff, but about the Christian religion and the negative things about it, Todd the Torre, some of the songs on the album, Michael Sweet said, no, I better not, because of the grief. So yeah, you're right. You're probably right there. It's not worth it. No, it's not. That's not worth it. It's a bit shit, isn't it?
Keep my mouth shut on that. Anyway.
Yeah. Right, Dom, where you go?
I'm going to go for an off-the-wall cover. A band that's done a lot of cover versions from Anthrax. They've done a lot of B-sides and then a whole EP a couple years ago as well. But this has always been my favorite just because of the sheer audacity of it. This is a song called London, and it's by the Smiths. And this was on the Airhead soundtrack. It's just great. I mean, The original version is a fast-paced song, I guess, sort of like Got the Time. The original Joe Jackson version is, kind of a snappy number. And it's the same with this Smith song, but, they just turn up the feedback and it's fantastic. It's really good. I don't know if there's too many people out there who are both Anthrax and Smiths fans, but I'm one. So I think it's just great. They do it authentically, but they really just kick ass with it as well. So that's great. As I said, it's off the Airhead soundtrack. So
Is that John Bush?
Sorry,
John Bush. Is it John Bush?
Yeah. This is around the time of Sound of White Noise. I don't think he had been in the band long. But yeah, it's great. So check it out if you're interested.
Cool. Good one, mate. That's obscure, isn't it? I mean, the Smiths, let me know.
Yeah, Anthrax and the Smiths, who knew? But they were.
Yeah. Okay, cool. What you got, Jen?
Okay, I'll go for one that you probably all know. This is from, let's go to the cover version first. It's from Kiss's Dynasty album, and it's 2000 Man. I used to love this album, love this song. I didn't think I knew originally when I first heard it, it was a cover version, but subsequently I really got into the Stones, and I started going through all their albums, listening to them all. And my dad's favorite album was their Satanic Majesty's Requests, which this is on. And when I got to that album, it was their Sergeant Pepper, if you like, their sort of copy of it. Obviously I heard the original then, so which is good as well. So it's fairly faithful to it. It's probably a bit faster and obviously slightly heavier, although obviously Dynasty isn't a heavy Kiss album. Dom's disappeared.
Oh, Dom, here come back.
So yeah, it's a good song, good groove, and it fits in well with the album, I think, Dynasty, and it's a pretty good cover version. Do I prefer it? I think I like both versions, so I don't think you need to. They're just slightly different. Probably say slightly faster the Kiss version, but that's about it.
Did you say who's singing that Kiss version? Is it Gene or Paul?
Ace Frehley.
Oh, Ace sees it. I don't
Oh, is it?
No one I don't think. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Right there, Dom. You went for a second there. You're just trying to confuse me now, aren't you? Because I won't know what's going on now when I choose people.
Different order now.
You've moved under me now, so there you go.
Okay, well, sorry about that.
It is me that's next, though. Good one. Well done, champ. Right, so I'm going for, now, obviously, with COVID and everything, everyone was doing some online stuff, weren't they? These, fucking sessions online where you get these musicians get together and they were recording some stuff. So a brilliant song that I absolutely love, I'm sure you guys love it anyway, came out in 1979, Jane, Jefferson Starship.
One of my favorite songs of all time.
Oh man, what a brilliant song. So Dino Chalusic, Joel Hoekstra and Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater recorded it last year. Could have been this year. It was during one of the lockdown, whatever it was. And you can actually get this on Spotify as well. So it is released proper. And it was a proper recording. It weren't as if they was jamming online. They'd obviously just recorded it and done sort of a video, but they're separate like we are now. Oh man, you've got to hear it. It's just obviously with Dino Chalusic's voice. I mean, not many people could sing that song anyway, can they? I mean, that is just an amazing vocal performance for 1979. That it just sounds so fresh, that song. We were saying at the beginning, weren't we? What would you prefer, the original? I just love the original so much, but they have really heavied it up like this this version of it and done some really, obviously with Dream Theater, the drummer, and Joel Hoekstra. You don't realise how good Joel Hoekstra is on the guitar as well. There's some really like intricate guitar bits that they've sort of added on to the version, so it's not a clear version of it. The whole tune is, but there's some really clever bits as well. You've got to hear it. It's brilliant. So if you love the song anyway, Jane, and it's such a brilliant, energetic song as it is in 1979, but they've just ramped it up. But I still don't know what one I prefer because I just love this original so much. It's just brilliant.
No, I've heard this version you're talking about as well, and he definitely does it justice. As you say, it's one of those songs that you just can't imagine anyone else singing because Mickey Thomas on that original version is just he's the only singer. he's the only singer back then that I think could really give Steve Perry a run for his money. I think those are probably the two of the best AOR singers of all time, obviously. But yeah, he really does it justice on this thing. And as you say, they do rock it up, but it's excellent. It's really good.
Because I was listening to the original and the new version. I had a live version come up where they went on a show, Jefferson Starship. They went on some program and they did a live version of Jane. It just blew me away. It just blew me away. His voice was just mental. That is such a cool song. I could listen to that a million times, that Jane song.
I didn't realize that came out as early as 79.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it, does it? Because it's got that real catchiness of the even like 83, 84, you know, that sort of time.
Yeah.
I remember that mid to late 80s.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the first time I heard it was mid to late 80s, because I remember hearing it through me growing up and not knowing what year that was then, you know, but yeah. 79. Amazing song.
Well, by 85, they had already moved on to dropping the Jefferson and We Built This City and all that horrible shit.
Yeah.
So, but they used to be great.
yeah. They did. Okay. Now I'm really confused. I think it's Mark.
It is Mark.
Fourth one, mate. What you got?
All right. I don't know. I know Darren's a big Beatles fan. I don't think Lee.
So is Lee. Lee is a huge fan.
Beatles. I'm not sure about you other guys. Where are you guys on the Beatles?
I like the Beatles,
like
yeah.
them.
Quality, yeah. Can't deny the Beatles. They started it all.
Okay, well, as a
Don't
kid,
know about that.
I didn't give two shits about the Beatles when I was a kid. But as I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate a lot of their music. There's stuff that I like, I really like. There's a lot of their shit that's just so far out there I can't get into. But one song that I always liked was Eleanor Rigby. And a band that I keep singing the praises of that nobody else has ever heard from Hawaii called Sacred Right. In 1986, did a cover of Eleanor Rigby. I love the Beatles version. It's a very depressing song lyric-wise. I don't know how to describe it. It makes you feel a certain way when you listen to it. Anyway,
melancholy, I think, is a good word for it.
That's a good word, yeah.
Melancholy is a nice word.
Yeah, that's a very good word. Yeah. But anyway, this is a rocked up version of it. They sped it up. They put their metal into it. But yeah, it's
cool.
If you like that song, listen to this. It's a great version.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's cool. No, that is a great song, and I can actually hear somebody kind of rocking that up. So yeah, I'll definitely put that out as well.
When they came out, I think they were all 16, 17, 18 about this time when they recorded it. And like I said, they were in Hawaii of all places. Never did hit it big, but one of those unknown bands that I've always loved.
Cool. I'll definitely listen to that.
Cool. All right, brilliant one, mate. Excellent. So we're up to Dom next.
Yeah, we are. Well, this is one for a jam as much as for me. This is off of the Ramones tribute album, We're a Happy Family. This is Kiss.
Cool.
Who haven't done many covers in their lifetime. They do You Remember Rock and Roll Radio, which is one of my favorite Ramones songs. And just to hear Paul's screams on it and stuff, it just gives me chills. Yeah, you know, and it's one of the very few Kiss songs that have like horns on it because they keep the sax from the originals like. So it's a bit, but they both sing. They both kind of trade off like a shout out loud rock and roll. Gene and Paul trade. So it's really cool to hear. And I think they just do a terrific job, full of energy, especially by this point, I'd kind of written Kiss off because I don't know. I think I've made it known my opinion of like modern era Kiss, but this was just great. Loved it. Definitely the standout from this Ramones tribute album. So there you go.
Yeah, there's some strange artists on there, weren't there? There's U2 on there, aren't there? Which I always found a bit strange.
Good one, mate. Kiss have got a couple of mentions tonight, haven't they? So there you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, Jam, what you got for your fourth one, mate?
Right, I'm going English trip hop artist meets Brazilian thrash metal. Not something you thought you'd say.
I'm really in for this one. I really like the
Right.
sound of it.
No. It's a song by Massive Attack called Angel from their Mezzanine album from 1998. And it's covered by Sepultura.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This is modern Sepultura because it's in 2003, so no Cavaleras. I've forgotten the name. Is it Derek Green, singer, I think now?
That's the one.
And it's from their Revolution EP. And it's a song's called Angel. Now, it's not thrash at all, so don't forget that. This keeps the atmosphere. I don't know if you heard the original, you might not have done, of course, but it keeps the atmosphere.
I know it pretty well, yeah, I know it.
Yeah, really atmospheric song, but they just sort of replaced it with guitar echoing and stuff like that. It's absolutely brilliant. There's a television program a couple of years ago called The Following with Kevin Bacon, it's sort of a horror thriller thing, which was really good. And this was on that, and that's where I first heard it. It's like, what's that song? I love that. And then I looked it up, and then I got it, and that's it. So it's fairly faithful to the original, but I say it's rock, but it's not thrash at all. It's just atmospheric guitars, some great singing on it, and definitely interesting. That's one thing it is. So check that out if you want.
Cool. I'm finding a lot of things to listen to.
Okay, brilliant one, mate. Right, my fourth one. I think we will go for 5 as well because we're up to that sort of time. We'll do the last one as 5. But my fourth one is, I've mentioned this band. I've actually come up on All Killer for the last 2 years. So a band called Jaded Heart that I've mentioned. German sort of melodic hard rock band. And they covered the Genesis song Easy Lover.
Phil Collins, I think. I think it's Phil Collins, isn't it?
Is it Phil Collins? Oh, I don't know.
Phil Collins and Philip Bailey from Earth, Wind and Fire.
Sorry, Phil Collins. I get confused because I've got another one similar as well that I'm going to mention in a later thing as well. But yeah, sorry, Phil Collins, Easy Lover. So yeah, that came out in 1985, and this version came out in 1999, and they've just really ramped it up. I don't actually mind the original, believe it or not.
That's a great song. It's a good song.
I'm not a Phil Collins fan as such, but I mean, this is one where it's a clear winner for the new version for me. But like I say, I don't mind that for a Phil Collins song. It wasn't too bad. I mean, he's brought out some shit as well, but that was not a bad song at all. But I mean, you can sort of, it wouldn't be hard for a melodic hard rock band to do that song. It's already got the essence of a sort of a hard rock song, if you like, isn't it? Just turn the guitars up a bit. There's loads of energy in it as well.
Yeah, pretty fast, isn't it?
Yeah, Michael Ballman, who is the singer, he just does an amazing job. He's just brilliant on this song, and just have a listen to that one. You love it. It is really
I like
cool
that
song.
I like the original, so I like that one.
Yeah, have a listen to that one. Right, last one then, guys. I'm saying track 5. I think I'm doing All Killer still. Your last choice then. What you got then, guys? What you got, Mark?
All right, I'll finish off with band called Lords of Black. This is Ronnie Romero, who I guess you consider him the current Rainbow singer, even though they're not doing shit.
I said to someone the other day, we're as much a Rainbow singer as he is.
Yeah.
Anyway, we sing more for Rainbow than he does.
This is his original band before he even got hooked up with Blackmore. So he stayed with them over the years. He was out for a little while, but then he rejoined. But anyway, I think this was their 3rd album. Came out in 2018 called Icons of the New Days. They did a deluxe version that had a bonus disc with some covers, and they did some really good covers. But the one that blows me away, it's a Journey song. It's probably my number 2 favorite Journey song ever, and it's arguably the heaviest Journey song.
Can I guess? Can I guess what it is? Edge of the Blade.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great song. Yeah.
I mean, I think that song's got some edge, even in the Journey version, because Frontiers was by Journey standards, was a fairly edgy album anyway. So it's got a little bit of heaviness to start with, but they really crank it up on this one. Again, just knocked it out of the park.
I thought it was going to be Back Talk.
The standout track on Frontiers, isn't it? Back Talk.
Martin could cover Back Talk and not help it in my eyes.
Fucking song.
Tony Martin and Doogie White doing a duet could not say.
Brilliant.
Well, the good thing is, if somebody ever did a cover of Back Talking, they certainly couldn't ruin it.
No,
Well, that's true.
Fucking
They could
hell.
only improve it.
That's terrible, man. Oh, we all knew what that song was, though, didn't we? The Bad Journey song. We all fucking knew what that one was. God. Jam's probably thinking, how many fucking bad ones are there? That's probably what Jam's thinking. He don't like Journey, man.
I never slag anybody else. Just not my sort of thing. If you,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with them. Guitar-based music or rock music is fine by me.
Well, I'm slagging Back Talk off. It's fucking shit. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, Don, what you got?
All right, let's see. Well, for the last one, I feel like I need to defend this guy because he just takes so much shit these days. But about 10 years ago, when he wrote his autobiography called Tattoos and Tequila, Vince Neil did a all covers album with the same name, and it was actually really good. Just really rocking up these covers. The one that I've chosen is the one that just cracks me up the most, but it just kicks ass. It's Elton John's "The Bitch Is Back." But it is so good, I can bitch. It's fantastic. He does a few other really good covers on this as well. But this is the one, Elton John, Vince Neil, "The Bitch Is Back." If you haven't heard it, man, you've got to check it out and it rocks too.
Yeah.
I mean, it is kind of one of Elton's kind of more rocky songs, like "Saturday Night All Right for Fighting" and all those. It does kind of have a riff, but of course they just kick it up a notch. And man, it's great. So check it out if you haven't heard that.
Excellent.
Cool.
I do like. I must admit, there's some stuff that I've only listened to Vince Neil solo album. I've only heard it recently. I love that. The first one.
Exposed. Yeah, Exposed.
That's really good. But yeah, excellent one though, mate. I didn't even know about that one. Fucking hell.
It's great. You'll love it.
Excellent. All right, we got then, Jam, for your last one, mate.
Right, staying with Vince Neil and Motley Crue, I'm going for a double header. Motley Crue and Megadeth both doing "Anarchy in the USA." No, I'm not really. No, I'm not. Fucking hate both versions. They're shite. No, I'm not going with that because I hate them both. So no, I'm going for a bit of fun. I'm going with "Ghostbusters" by Ray Parker Jr. from the soundtrack, covered by British thrash band Zentrix on their Ghostbusters EP. It's brilliant. Zentrix are a proper serious thrash band. They are. They're proper serious thrash band. They're never jokey. This wasn't their first single or anything. They did proper albums which are really good. Metallica-esque quality, and Justice for All, that sort of technical ability is absolutely brilliant, their albums. But they just did this as a bit of fun, and they did their main set, and then they just came on and played Ghostbusters at the end just for a laugh, and everyone loved it, so they sort of released it on an EP. But it's just good fun, and imagine thrashing up Ghostbusters. It's brilliant. So it's definitely one worth hearing if you haven't heard it. But yeah, it's good if you can find it. Obviously, being a British band, you might not get it on Spotify, but
could be a YouTube job. But yeah, definitely. Yeah. Brilliant, mate. Absolutely excellent. I'm probably going to go for maybe the most obvious one that I've mentioned. Probably the one that most people know. And I've always loved this song, and I didn't know this was a cover probably until, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. And that shows you, but it came out, the cover actually came out in '86 from one of my favourite bands, Queensryche. And it's Going to Get Close to You from Rage for Order.
Del Bello.
Yeah, it's exactly. Lisa Del Bello, whatever you. And that only came out in 1984. I was looking earlier, so a couple of years beforehand. And it was a weird fucking song anyway. But Queensryche somehow made it even weirder. But I just think it was amazing. And I didn't know, like I said, it was a cover. And it fitted in with that weirdness that Rage for Order was. It was that Rage for Order album was sort of ahead of its time for me. It was just something, it blew my mind when I heard it. So Gonna Get Close to You sort of fitted in with all the weirdness of the album. It was just a little bit weirder than the rest, I suppose. That's. But I love the way they just break off into like the heavy metal bits, away from the the synthesizer bits, and then it breaks up into the solo, really catchy solo they did, which actually follows the song completely. But some of them melodies that Queensryche played were more up front than the original song, because I listened to the original song again earlier. But yeah, what a weird song, but done brilliantly by Queensryche. And a lot of people say that the Rage for Order, that's the only weakness on the album. I wouldn't agree with it whatsoever. I fucking love the song. It doesn't make it any less of a brilliant album for me.
Yeah.
So Gonna Get Close to You that's probably the one that everyone's heard, I suppose, is watching the channel, from Rage for Order, 1986.
Cool.
There might be some people that didn't even know it was a cover version now.
Probably quite a few, yeah.
I didn't know.
You didn't know either, Mark?
I sure didn't.
Yeah, I mean they're not the sort of band either. But you wouldn't think they would do a cover version. I mean, they must have been at the height of their, writing capabilities back there, or Queensryche, wouldn't they? From The Warning onwards to Empire, they were just mind blowing. So they probably didn't need to do a cover, but what they did to it was quite amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, they do a great version. Yeah, she's a Canadian singer who had a bit of success in Canada, but never really broke through. I remember seeing the video for her version on MTV. That's how I knew it was a cover. I mean, it didn't get a whole bunch of airplay, but I just happened to see it once and it stuck with me. So when they came out, I was like, whoa, that's that song. Wow.
Yeah. If you watch the original, Mark, it's basically all sort of synthesizers.
Yeah.
Weird sort of song. I mean, I know it's weird anyway. Even the video is a little bit similar to the Queensryche one. You got her looking out of a window, I think. I think Jeff Tate does it in their video as well. So it's a little bit, and it's a bit of a stalker song, isn't it? That's what it is. It's really strange. And it's to hear a woman singing those stalker lyrics, I suppose, it's even weirder, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my last choice, guys. Queensryche. There you
Excellent.
go. Right, I'm not going to do any honourable mentions. I said we wouldn't do any because we're going to save them, but I've got to do a couple from the missus. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Nope.
This will give you a fucking laugh. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, this one, I can't stand it, but Disturbed and Miles Kennedy, Sound of Silence.
Oh.
I don't know. Miles Kennedy was on it.
Oh, you got it there for you, mate. Sorry. No, he ain't on the original. He's on the live version. So
we got to say right.
she likes the original version as well, but she loves the one with Miles Kennedy even more because she loves Miles Kennedy. But I just can't stand Disturbed. His voice just doesn't hit him.
Okay.
You like the last one though, Miley Cyrus and Nothing Else Matters. How about that?
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, well, I had to sort of make her happy and say that I appreciate it. I didn't like it,
That's
but I
right.
appreciate it. There you go. All right, so she wanted me included on my list. I said, no way, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. I'm not going to say Miley Cyrus. Not on me. Not going to choose hundreds of cover versions. Not going to choose Miley Cyrus. So there you go.
I mean, the good thing is this isn't a live stream, so you can just edit that out.
Yeah. All right, listen, guys, that was really good fun. I do want to do another couple of shows though. These are ones that have just popped in my head, so I haven't actually sat down and started. I don't know about you guys. They're probably ones that you just thought about as you're walking around and jotted it down quickly. So
I've loads more.
there's some great ones to check out there, and I think it's really interesting to hear covers and what bands have done with some of these songs. So
I've definitely discovered some tonight that I'm going to check out for sure. So that's good.
cool. All right, cheers then, guys. Thanks for joining me.
See you later.
Next time.
Bye.